What's up everyone? Today in this video I'm going to be showing you how to become unstoppable by creating your own version of an alter ego, your own version of the Black Mamba. We are going to be creating this alter ego today, step by step. My name is Nick Sweeney. I'm the co-founder of the Coherence Breathwork app. Link in the description below. Let's get into it. So today I want you to imagine the version of you that just effortlessly dominates, effortlessly wins, does the things he says or she says they're going to do when he or she says they're going to do them, in the way they're going to do them. So imagine this version of you that's just unstoppable, frictionless discipline, can get things done, wins, and just killer instinct, killer intellect, grounded in intuition. Imagine what that might look like for you. And we are going to go through it all step by step today. And so the first step to this alter ego creation is number one, we have to define our goals. Without a goal, you're a ship with no sail. And so without clarity around what we want in our lives, this is impossible, and you should just get off the video right now. And I swear I'm going to be giving you some serious game, some serious writer-downers here in a moment, but we have to set the stage, and setting the stage looks like defining what you actually want in life. In my school, that's also linked below, I have a vision board that can make this helpful. I have a whole Polaris book that can help you ultimately define your goals, because it's hard to define your goals. Really, the first step to defining your goals is self-discovery. You got to know who you are and what you want before you can write it down. But for today's purposes, we're going to assume that we have a generally good idea of what the fuck we want in our lives. And I'll just give you a little, it's this. It's freedom. Financial freedom, relationship freedom, career freedom, travel freedom. It's freedom. Freedom from a negative health situation. It's freedom. And with that comes fulfillment and all that kind of stuff. And so first step is defining your goal. Now, the next step, and this can be many different goals, $1 million and Forbes 30 under 30, and I want to go on this podcast, and whatever your goals are, we have them written down. And once we have that written down, we then need to think about the hypothetical person that has already achieved these goals. Hypothetical person that has already achieved the goals that you have set forth for yourself. From that place, we want to get really disgustingly detailed about that person. Write out a day in that person's life. They wake up and they're efficient. Their intentions were written the night before. They went to bed at 10, they're up at 6 a.m., bang, they're out of bed. They are training hard in the morning. They get their exercise done, they get their breath work done, they get their meditation done, they have their visualization, they pray to God, they eat a really healthy breakfast, they're efficient with their time, they're assuming that their time is worth $100,000 every hour, and they're just like well-oiled machine. And you want to write out an entire day, but also like, how does this person carry himself? Posture is no joke. How does this person interact with others? Does this person do drugs? Does this person jerk off? Does this person drink a bunch of alcohol? Does this person trust their intuition? Does this person cultivate a deep level of instinctual knowingness about who they are and what they're capable of? And how do they do that? Are they diligent? What are their finances like? What's their life like? Disgustingly detailed about this person. And this isn't the creation part yet. This is getting really clear about I mean, what this person would be. If this person had already achieved, let's say the goal was, you know, $100,000 a month. If that was your goal, what does that person look like? And this is coming from some inspiration. I was just in Miami for a mastermind with one of my business coaches, Jeremy Pogue. His alter ego is named $100,000 a month Jeremy, which I think is great. And that's who he created in order to achieve it. Now he's making a lot more than $100,000 a month, and he's a fucking legend. So the next step, after we have written out, okay, we have our goals, we have our hypothetical person written out of how would this person live, sleep schedule, learning, achieve investments like leadership ability, what kind of maybe content are they creating, what are they sacrificing, what technical skills do they have, what creative skills do they have, are they good at sales, are they good at this, are they good at that? Write it out, exactly. Who is this person? In order to have achieved $100,000 a month in said industry, said profession, then what does this person do? The next step is you have to ID the gap. So this is, what is the difference between you and then this hypothetical person that you've created? What is the difference, you know, how you, in the way you show up in the world? And write it down. This is like a good exercise, like write down, I wake up at 8, not 6. I go to bed at midnight, not 10. I don't know sales very well right now. I don't know, you know, investing. My finances are not good right now. My health isn't as good right now. My diet's not dialed. I'm kind of like la-di-da, lackadaisical with my time. I'm not as diligent and efficient with my time. I'm not as disciplined. I'm not, you know, for me, when I was writing down my alter ego, either sober or celebrating was the hypothetical person. That hypothetical person's either sober or he's celebrating some achievement. For me, I have not been sober or celebrating. I have had these sort of oscillating waves over the past 6 months where I'll fall into, I'll smoke a little weed, I'll drink because I'm out at some business dinner, and I will crack and not stand true to my own standards. And so that was part of what I had to write down, was like, that's my gap. So what is your gap? Write down the gap. And once we have the gap written down, it's very crystal clear of how this hypothetical person lives and then how you live. And if you want to achieve $100,000 a month, then you have to step it up and begin to act as that hypothetical person. And this hypothetical person is going to be your alter ego. But hold on, we have a few more things to go through before we can actually create this mythical creature that is fucking unstoppable. So, number 4 is, now we want to write down a commitment, new commitments to yourself on how you're going to operate, behave, and interact with the world. Given that it's crystal clear, I am at A and my intention is to get to point B, the gap, what needs to change? The change is I need to go fully sober. The change is I need to go to bed at 10 p.m. The change is I need to write down my intentions, write down intention for the morning for the next morning. And this is coming from my own alter ego creation, $1 million Nick. So I realized, and I got a journal right here that sits by my bedside table. I realized that I would wake up in the mornings and I would be like, oh, I'm gonna go do that today. I'm gonna go do this today. And yes, I was doing a deep work session, but I wasn't like really strategically thinking about what that deep work needed to be on that day. It was kind of like, I feel like making a YouTube video, so I'm gonna make a YouTube video today. Versus, you know, this is mine from last night. You can see it right there. Number 1 intention, X thread. Number 2 intention, if I get that done, I'm gonna make 1 to 5 YouTube videos, which is what I'm doing now. And so it's very simple. I wrote down 1 and 2 intentions the night before, because that is what $1 Million Nick, the version of me that makes $1 million every single year or more, that's what he would be doing. He would be writing his shit down, and he would be efficient in the morning. He wouldn't be dinking around, saunaing and cold plunging and then figuring out, oh, actually I'm inspired to do this today and I'm gonna go do that today. No, night before, the morning routine starts with the evening routine, and this has been an element of my evening routine that I've been missing. So I wrote down some commitments to myself, and I wrote down a lot of other commitments as well, but I wrote them down because these commitments basically were the things I was no longer willing to tolerate. I'm not tolerating me waking up and aimlessly figuring out what I'm gonna do that day. I'm not tolerating me not speaking the absolute truth all the time. That's something I'm no longer tolerating. It has to be absolute integrity, absolute honesty, no fucking around, no lying by omission, no nice guy syndrome. If something upsets me, I say it to that person right away, straight up, pure frequency, pure truth. Now, once we have this done and we have these commitments done, we can create the higher self. We can create your villain, your alter ego, your black mamba. So the next step is, excuse me, I just got out of a 5-day fever. My voice is a bit blah. So we want to architect our alter ego with extreme care, because if you really apply what I'm going to tell you here, it can get scary. It can get real. It can be like, whoa, I really am that person. I really am the black mamba right now. And so we want to make sure that the guide we create is aligned with God, aligned with our greatest version, and aligned with our goals. We do not want to create some inferior guide that we're following that throws us into some, potholes and booby traps. So think of a few things. The first step here is your master guides. Master guides. What I mean by this is make a list of people that you aspire to be like, historical figures that you aspire to be like, and just write down their names and make a list of them. Ultimately, let's say that you're in business, and let's say you're making an alter ego for business. Well, then you desire to ascend to mastery in strategic business thinking and execution, really. So let's say then one of your master guides would be, and could be controversial, but Elon. Great. One of my master guides is Theodore Roosevelt. I highly, highly recommend doing research on him and reading The River of Doubt. Banger book. Also his autobiography. Now, maybe it's also, fucking Rockefeller. Maybe it's David Sachs. Maybe it's like some other business head that you listen to their podcasts a lot, or you read a lot of their books. The more you know about them, the better. And I'll get into a different video about how you can create a meditation, the meditation of invisible counselors, the round table of invisible counselors, where you assemble these masters at a round table, and you run the round table, and you meditate, and you go in and you ask them questions, and then suddenly they are speaking and conversing and having debates around your life and what can happen. And it gets really weird, it gets really powerful, because you're just like, oh my God, Jordan Peterson's talking some mad wisdom right now, and I couldn't have come up with that myself, but it's coming from the field or something. I'm not gonna take you guys down that rabbit hole today in this video. Let me know in the comments if I should make a video about that. But today, we're just assembling the master guides. We're just writing down a list. And, and once you've written down the list, then we want to ultimately create a mythical master alter ego that is the best of all of these guides. And so we would have like the ability to scale like Elon, and the articulation of Theodore Roosevelt, and the judicial understanding of David Sachs, for example, the negotiation style of Jordan Peterson, the analytical thinking style of Lex Friedman, or whatever. What are the best traits of these master guides? And you're going to write them down. And then from that place, what you're going to do is you're going to you're going to create your alter ego. Like from there, from all this stuff that we've created, is you've identified the gap of how you need to act. You've identified altruistic, virtuous traits from master guides in your life. Now we want to give this alter ego a name. A name. And you can definitely think about this quite deeply. Give the ego a name. $1 Million Nick. That's mine. It's not the sexiest, but it gets me out of bed. And once we have that mythical master and the name, we can write down the accomplishments. And this could be essentially your goals. So you had the goals, write down as though this mythical alter ego has already won. Like Kobe Bryant was like, the Black Mamba's already won the NCAA or the NBA championships, however many times, won it. Black Mamba's already won NBA championships before Kobe ever won NBA championships. So you're gonna list out accomplishments of this mythical creature, of this alter ego. Cool. And then we're going to make, finally, a ritual around this alter ego so that we can live it and breathe it and bleed it every single day. Now, this strict ritual is aiming to feed this alter ego, this mythical master that you have named whatever. And so an example of a ritual for me to feed this alter ego is a visualization at the end of my meditations and a certain type of workout at the beginning of my day. So the beginning of my day starts with 3 sets of push-ups. 2, failure. And if you want to watch my morning routine, standard operating procedure video, I go into that in depth. But 3 sets of push-ups to failure every day. I'm trying to beat the number I hit the day before. Yesterday I hit 62. This morning, first set, I fucking gotta beat 62. Sometimes I'm so sore I can't even beat 60. I can't get to 50. But then I'll take like 20 seconds and then I'll go set 2. All right, I get to 21 on that one. Set 3, 20 seconds. Okay, I get to like 15 on that one. And I just burn that shit through in the morning. And that is something that $1 Million Nick would do. That is something that $1 Million Nick, he would wake up and he would get the fuck after it, and he wouldn't play games, he wouldn't look at his phone, he wouldn't fucking, go la-di-da, walking around in the woods and stuff, and like, no, business first, God first. I will sacrifice my flesh in the name of God. First thing in the morning, 3 sets of push-ups to failure, and then I will do my breath work, meditate, and then I will visualize. And I will visualize $1 Million Nick waking up a day in his life, in his dream home, with his dream wife and dream family and dream interior and view out the front of his bedroom, and I will visualize him getting into his dream car and going down to the airport and getting into his dream private jet, and he's jetting off to some fucking dope ass place. That's the $1 Million Nick visualization. And it may sound materialistic, but material possessions are great milestones in life, and it's something that $1 Million Nick gets fired up about. Me, Nick, grounded, I am chasing after the godly virtues only. I want goodness and humility and strength and love and empathy. Those sorts of things are mine. That's my North Star. That's why my company's called Polaris. That's why my school's called Polaris, is because really the North Star is you want to just deepen your connection with God, yourself, your loved ones, your community, your family. That's really what we really want. And so that's my North Star, is those deep connections with family and myself and God. Now, that's my highest self talking. That's Nick, highest self. $1 Million Nick, he wants fucking money. $1 Million Nick is a savage. $1 Million Nick has an ego. $1 Million Nick, this is why it's important to not create an inferior guide. You have to create a guide that's like very driven with the right fuel sources. But $1 Million Nick is playing on the biological lower egoic levels of my spirituality, which are like, I want a fucking fast car and a hot wife and a cool house. That's what I want. That's what I want. I have a preference for it. And because of that, I am basically creating like the carrot and the stick, like the carrot dangling in front of the donkey. And the donkey's just gonna keep chasing after this carrot every day. 3 sets of push-ups to failure, and then I gotta meditate and visualize, and then I go to work. And if I do that enough days, then I'll be able to get this carrot, which is like this car or this house or whatever, or this amount of money. Then I can use that as motivation and create the, turn discipline into devotion of the highest mission. But on that day where I don't want to get out of bed and do push-ups, I call upon $1 Million Nick and I'm like, hey buddy, let's get it fucking moving. I want that car. And it's not about the car. And I know that when I get that car, I'm not gonna even give a shit after a couple days. I'm gonna be like, oh, it's just another one of my possessions, just another liability that's depreciating. But I know that it fuels my fire now, and that I'm gonna use every fuel source I can possibly get. I'm gonna get coal involved, and I'm gonna have a nuclear generator going down within me, and I'm gonna be the alchemist taking lead into gold, just moving full alignment, full gas in the direction of my goals. And I believe that this process right here can be very powerful for anyone who wants to do the same, who wants to create that alter ego, because that ego is something that can be a tool. And we can honor ourselves and honor that, we are not our name, we're not our story, we're not our bodies, but we also are men and women of the material world playing this material game. And so if we can learn to play the game in a way that suits us and that works for us and that propels us, then who's to argue that? The pragmatic test. What's true is what works. If this is something that you think may work for you, well then go through defining your goals and creating a hypothetical person that's achieved these goals and identifying your gap, and then creating the commitments to yourself to bridge that gap, and then creating and assembling the master guides that are going to inspire you, that are going to be in your mind's eye. Then give that ego, that alter ego, a name, list out the accomplishments of that alter ego, and then let's create a ritual to feed that ego. And if you do that day after day after day, there are gonna be days where you just are in this different energy and you're in this different mode of being, and you are just getting shit done. And that's what we wanna do here. That's why we're here, is to make the world a better place and be love in action and get shit done and rise and be leaders and tip of the spear type of leader for this world, because there's a whole lot of people that need your help. There's a whole lot of people that are helpless right now. And that's why I do anything that I do. And so if you want to learn more and you want to go deeper into this, into the vision board, that kind of thing, I'll link my school below. Ultimately, I'm a breathwork guy. Number one, health, performance, it all starts and ends with the breath. So download my breathwork app, Coherence, at the link below. And thank you guys for tuning in, watching this video. I'd love if you, put a comment down there and let me know what you thought. And thank you all for listening. Have a powerful day. Namaste. Cheers.